Have you ever felt that the more you try to hold on to life, the faster it slips away? It almost feels unfair. The harder you chase peace, the more it runs from you. We're constantly told to hustle, to push harder, to never rest, as if life were a race that only the exhausted can win. But what if real strength comes not from forcing things, but from flowing with them? What if the secret isn't to push the river, but to move with its current? The Tao calls this Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. A philosophy as old as the wind, yet as modern as our anxiety. Because let's be honest, most of our suffering comes from trying to control what was never ours. We try to fix people, shape outcomes, even bend time itself. And the result? Exhaustion, frustration, and the feeling of always being almost there. But there is another way, lighter, wiser, and infinitely calmer. A way where action and rest coexist, where doing flows naturally from being. Maybe the secret isn't doing more, but doing with less resistance. And when you finally understand that, the world seems to move in sync with you. That's where the real art of Wu Wei begins, the power to act without fighting against your own nature. The Tao isn't something you can explain. It's something you feel. It's the silent rhythm that moves everything without needing to be seen. It's in the way the wind bends the trees, in the timing of the waves, even in the simple act of breathing. When someone tries to control life too tightly, it's like blowing against the wind. All effort, no progress. The secret is to sense the natural order that's already at work, beyond our will. Think of a river. It doesn't argue with the mountain, it simply flows around it. The Tao works the same way, invisible but present in every movement of life. When you swim against it, you feel the strain and the frustration of resistance. But once you learn to flow, things begin to align effortlessly. It's as if life itself stops pushing back. And when you start noticing this invisible path, a strange feeling appears, humility mixed with awe. You realize there's something greater guiding everything. And as that awareness grows, your obsession with control starts to fade. Maybe the problem was never the world, but our stubbornness to command what was never ours. That's where the real learning begins, understanding the cost of forcing what was meant to flow. We live in an age that glorifies urgency. Instant answers, instant success, instant connection. People confuse movement with progress and think that if they're not pushing hard enough, they're falling behind. But forcing is the new form of suffering. It's like trying to push a river faster. The only thing that moves is your exhaustion. Maybe that's why so many feel drained even when they're doing everything right. They force relationships that need silence, push productivity out of tired bodies, and demand creativity from burned-out minds. That's the paradox of our times. The harder we try to control, the more life slips away. There's a huge difference between acting with purpose and acting out of fear. One grows from trust, the other grows from anxiety. The Tao teaches that nature isn't about doing nothing. It's about flowing. Just like a river doesn't need to push its banks to keep moving, you don't need to prove your worth to deserve peace. When effort turns into resistance disguised as ambition, we lose our lightness. The irony is, when you finally relax, things tend to fall into place more precisely. And that's where the next lesson begins. The body already knows what to do when the mind learns to get out of the way. There's a quiet intelligence inside every person, a wisdom the body knows, but the mind keeps interrupting. When someone enters a state of flow, there's no strain, only presence. It's like watching a musician close their eyes and let the melody guide their hands, or an athlete move with perfect timing without overthinking. The body knows the way when the mind stops shouting directions. The old master Cook Ting once said he never cut the meat. He simply followed the spaces between the joints. That image says everything. True mastery comes from sensitivity, not strength. The same applies to life. When you work, create, or love from that state of awareness, everything flows as if the universe itself were cooperating. That's Wu Wei, acting without forcing, doing without trying to control the outcome. This wisdom isn't mystical. It's natural. It shows up when you trust your intuition, when you act calmly even in uncertainty. When control fades, clarity appears. When noise stops, direction emerges. And maybe that's where many people stumble. The ego hates silence. But silence is where real power begins. The kind that comes from within, not from tension. And that silence has a name: the fasting of the heart. There's an old story where Confucius teaches his disciple Yan Hui about the fasting of the heart. Yan Hui wanted to fix the world, correct others, prove his ideas. But Confucius stopped him and said, "Before you speak, empty your heart." That's the essence of Wu Wei, wisdom that arises when the ego goes quiet. You can't hear the wind if your mind never stops talking. In today's world, the ego wears many masks. It wants to be right, to be seen, to win the argument. But the more you try to prove something, the further you drift from truth. It's like trying to push someone into calm. The harder you push, the more they resist. Sometimes the most powerful message comes from silence. When you speak from inner stillness, people don't just hear your words, they feel your presence. Silencing the ego isn't about losing your identity, but creating space for something deeper to act through you. It's allowing clarity to replace control. Like water, transparent, adaptable, and quiet, that conquers everything without competing. When the heart becomes empty, it becomes unstoppable. And when that silence finally arrives, life begins to flow again. That's when you learn what it truly means to dance with the river instead of trying to command it. Life is like a river, sometimes calm, sometimes wild, but always moving. Many people fight against the current, cling to branches, or refuse to let go of the shore. And that's exactly where suffering begins. The river doesn't stop for the rocks. It flows around them. The same is true for us. Those who learn to flow move forward not by force, but by trust. A skilled swimmer doesn't fight the water, they move with it. In life, that means accepting what comes and releasing what goes. It's not giving up, it's wisdom. When we stop resisting what already is, peace appears. That's when many people realize that serenity doesn't come from success, but from surrender. Forcing is swimming against yourself. Flowing is finally learning to breathe. And the paradox? The more you trust the natural rhythm of life, the more life rewards you. What once took effort now happens with ease. The right people appear, ideas flow, time aligns. That's what it means to live in rhythm with the universe. Wu Wei isn't about doing less. It's about doing with awareness. And when that dance begins, everything heavy turns into part of the current. So tell me, how many times have you tried to control everything, only to end up lost in the process? How many nights have you planned every detail, only to watch life laugh at your plans? Maybe it's not bad luck. Maybe it's the Tao reminding you that flowing is wiser than forcing. The question is, will you keep fighting the current or finally learn to dance with it? Try this just for a day. Practice Wu Wei in the small things. Don't rush conversations. Don't force ideas. Don't fight the rhythm of the moment. Watch how the world responds when you stop controlling. It's in that space of ease that life shows its quiet intelligence. And those who understand that discover the most subtle power of all, effort without strain. If this video made you think, share it with someone who's been trying to control the uncontrollable. And if you want to keep learning how to live in harmony with the flow of life, subscribe, turn on notifications, and keep walking with me into the Innerverse.